It's a complex problem also. Design and engineering world is quite different. You're talking about all of these roomfuls of drawings, lot of documentation, roomfuls of documentation and your plants and so forth. So as a result, unfortunately, companies are having tough time trying to become more innovation-centric because their solutions that we have, unfortunately, sometimes, legacy is not good. We are hampered by a lot of our legacy systems, and we can't have our engineering people collaborate with each other very easily. That is, in our view, number one problem. And to help you visualize this problem, to help you actually analyze this problem, we have kind of come up with this, what we call collaborative value network. It kind of shows you that you need to actually integrate very tightly, not loosely, all the way from your innovation, focus innovation, design, solutions, moving to, all of your plant operations or make operations, and then obviously going to the customer service. And so you need to do this integration from end to end. You truly need to bring your entire organization together. For many years, we've been kind of leaving these design folks here. They develop new products, or maybe on the process side, you have new projects, you build new plants and so forth. And these people, they design the new plant or new product, and they obviously, they built it, and then they handed it over to you, to another group to operate it. But the problem was, the operating people don't quite understand, what the design team built it. We have heard a lot of times, and they really couldn't actually understand the design systems that design engineers use to build the plant or build the product. So there was a big gap. So we think time has come. Right now, we need to fill that gap. We need to bring these two sides together. So what is a collaborative value network? We think that you need to start moving toward a single corporate-wide network, which integrates all of your internal operations, as well as, in fact, actually brings your partners along as well. Your partners can collaborate with you as well. This is where your IT folks come in. We are hoping that this is the challenge most CIOs try to tackle, or if they haven't tackled this already, try to build a platform. I mean, you can think of it, you need a Facebook-like platform which is easy to use by your employees. Most everybody can get the information they need whenever they need it and wherever they need it. And you want to put this network platform in the cloud someplace. So you have a group of IT folks who can actually run it for you. And your people can use it with very little training. To build a platform like that, I would say, was probably very expensive a few years ago. And I know some companies have spent a ton of money trying to build these platforms, but it was expensive. In many cases, it didn't quite work the way you wanted to. But technology today is in place. We are seeing, Facebook can handle millions, 500 million people on their network every day. I think you can build a platform that can do what you want, where your people can work together every day at a reasonable cost. So this is essentially what we call collaborative value network, and you can use sort of to educate. You got to kind of educate your people and show them the urgency. This is important for us to do. And it has to come from the top. Like P&G, CEO, we got to digitize the company. You got to digitize. If you still have those roomfuls of documentation sitting in plants that your people are using to maintain the plant or keep the plant going, you need to move all of that to the cloud and a platform like this. Now, to have a platform like this, as I mentioned to you, it's not easy. First of all, the message got to come from the top, and like we heard before. And you got to have the whole company, you got to start adopting some sort of common standards and common business processes. You got to have, obviously, shared goals. You got to come down and have consistent processes throughout your company and compatible standards. It's granted these kind of standards and common processes actually weren't available, but I think right now, if we don't have the standards you need, we are very close to getting them. So we have all of these things in place. In my view, I think as a country, President Obama challenged of a nation to invent. That's what's going to actually make us competitive in the future world. So we need to become much, much more innovation-centric. And in my view, technology is our ace in the hole. Technology can help us, in my view, compete with anybody in the world. But you need the right solutions, and you need to obviously the right people building these solutions, and somebody got to make these tough decisions. You got to have common business processes and standards and come up with a platform that your team can use. So in general, we see that our CVN complements our CMM concept. CMM sort of helps you look deep into your plant. CMM sort of helps you visualize, train you, educate your people, where different applications reside. And CVN sort of actually extends that to the enterprise and your partners. These concepts, they are not going to do a lot for you. They can help you get the message across to a lot of your people. You can start using the same language, if you use some of these concepts. And that's kind of part of what I said. You got to have common standards and processes. You got to start speaking the same language so that everybody in your company understands that. So in summary, what you got to do to drive performance, the number one is, obviously, you got to start becoming more innovation-centric. And there also, as I mentioned earlier, you got to start setting goals high. You got to start aiming for 30% reduction in costs. You got to start, and that's not going to happen if you don't think of new ways of doing things, or new processes, new products. That's the only way you are going to get step change. And certainly, I think these days you can't get away being not responsible, because I think the message through Twitter and Facebook spreads so quickly. You have to be very, very responsible citizen. And obviously, what you've been focused for a long time is execution, and you got to continue improve your execution. You have to know your supply chain got to respond very, very quickly when your design folks come up with a new innovation, new business processes. You can see why supply chain has to integrate with the design, because you got to respond very quickly. You don't have a lot of time to go back and start changing, your supply chain systems and so forth. So you got to execute flawlessly. So with that, what I would ask again from each of you, I think, stay engaged. Share your ideas with your colleagues. And I think what we want to do is obviously create this as a community, and hopefully, we have just added some social media capabilities to our website We are still working on them, but we want to create a community of you folks so that you can continue to communicate with your colleagues. So we want to, hopefully, over the coming months, we will be able to create you and get you more engaged, even on our website and so forth. Thank you very much, and enjoy the forum.